but who better than me?
This is Base the Kid, the hardcore casual. Delighted to once again be joined by company man Johnny Nelson. Johnny, first things first, how are you?
I'm alright, man. I'm good. It's nice to be back in London again. Was at the Copper Box at the weekend, back down a couple of days later for this, and the gift that keeps giving. You know what I mean? We've got another intriguing matchup to get involved with.
Okay, so just before we get to this, and even last week, you got some charges to answer, right? So, you said in the interview, I can't remember who it was with, I think it was Seconds Out, so if it was, shout out to them. But you said in that interview, Ben Whittaker won every single round against Liam Cameron. He just got hit more than people was expecting him to get hit. Do you stand by that? Do you really believe he won every single round?
I do, and go back and watch the fight. You watch the fight. Ben Whittaker's performance. He was more flat-footed. He was trying to outpunch him. He was trying to knock him out. He got tired, and people question it because they've never seen him hit that much. They've never seen him fight in such style where he put all the weight on the front foot trying to knock somebody out. Ben forgot what's got him to this point in the first place. His boxing finesse, his ability, his boxing flamboyancy. And he mixed it up with punch power as well. He was trying to stand there, plant his feet in the ground and knock him out. Why? Because it was a massive stage for him. I stick by that. And you can ask me the same thing next year. You can ask me, we can sit in front of the screen, and I say, come on, explain to me.
I'd love to do that, but why did every single judge give Liam at least 2 rounds if he won every single round? What did they see that we haven't?
There's many times judges give a score fight and they tell you, believe us or not, your lying eyes. You know what I mean? So I don't mind. Judges can do their job. I believe me. I don't believe, and my eyes ain't lying. And so it doesn't matter what the judges say because historically we've seen that many times before. You look at the Bivol Beterbiev fight. Some people thought Bivol won. Some people thought Beterbiev won. The judges, they scored the way they scored it. So just because the judges said one thing doesn't mean, well, you're wrong because this is what the judges said. Because historically in our fight, the judges sometimes see something we don't. That's what I saw.
I rate it. I rate your honesty and I rate the fact that you're sticking to that. I disagree, but we can move that one on. Quick question. So I spoke to you before the Beterbiev and Bivol fight, and I had said I had concerns about Boxer having so many people on that card, especially when there hasn't been as many of their shows throughout the year. They had a lot of their headliners on that Riyadh season. In hindsight, especially with obviously what happened to Frazier, what happened to Ben, do you still think it was a wise decision? What would you say in terms of that?
I think Boxer are trying to take advantage of an opportunity for most promoters are to get the fights paid handsomely, get on a massive stage, because you've got to give it. Riyadh season creating the biggest stage at the moment. That's UK, America, everywhere, apart from obviously AJ and Dubois, 96,000 people at Wembley. So Boxer is just doing what every other promotional outfit's doing, trying to get on the big stage to make the dough and get the platform.
Fair enough. Moving to last weekend, we had Adam Azim versus Ohara Davis. It was also, Dan Aziz and Lewis Edmondson. What did you think of the card in general? I saw you there. I didn't get a chance to speak to you, but I saw you. How did you find things?
I thought it was a good card. I thought Adam got the job done. I thought on paper that was his toughest test to date. Clearly, he's not the 40% he says he is. I think he's matured massively, and he needed to in that fight. Ohara Davis didn't come to make the numbers up. He came to win. Adam was just head and shoulders above him. He'd grown up massively because these guys know each other from being a kid. For Dan Azim, I fought for Dan. Dan is the nicest guy in boxing you will ever come across. I got so much time for him. He's such an honest soul, a good soul. But Dan's style works if you're going to stand in front of him and have a war because he's fit, he's strong, he wants to give it. But you know what? He was outboxed, out-hustled, out-pickpocketed. When he wanted to fight, my man's moving back up again. He did the right thing to beat somebody like Dan. So Dan, then it's frustration thinking, damn it. So there is a blueprint to beating Dan, but most people think, I'll out-punch him, I'll out-fight him. Don't be surprised if down the line you see Dan in with something like Yard before Yard boxes Boatse. Don't be surprised if you see Dan with someone like Ben Whittaker. Don't be surprised. So then because Dan is still that fighter that's got the credentials, and so for these guys now, they'll be trying to. Dan will always live in the gym, so Dan will take those fights because they think, you know what, people have written me off, I'll do this again. And most people look at Dan and think that's a good scalp to have on my record. So it's not the end.
What did you score? You may not have scored the fight personally, but just looking at the fight, how did you see it? Who do you think won?
I don't think Dan won. I think Dan just seemed to be one step behind because he was constantly trying to set his feet to let the shots off. And my man was constantly switching left to right. He was pickpocketing. And he had Amir Khan in his corner, killer from our gym. And he was doing what we do in our gym. They put you off mark, left, right, move left to right. Don't let you set. You start pickpocketing them off. And you're getting frustrated because you think, I want to fight. But you're getting pickpocketed left, right, and centre. Boom, boom, boom. And that's what happened. So I believe you score it. Dan didn't win. And that's how we'd be told to fight somebody like Dan. And Killer, that's what we call him. Killer, he knows exactly. He sees that as well because we've seen it too many times in the gym.
What was your thoughts on Anthony Yarde, his performance against Ralph Vilkans, and more importantly, maybe the lack of a call out or a real spice up to Buatsi fight?
It was disappointing, and I'm quite sure Anthony Yarde himself will tell you he was disappointed in the performance. You could tell the way he was talking. I think the knockdown in the first round probably changed his appetite because he thought, I've got this done, I made this, and so I'll take him out when I want. And then realised I couldn't take him out when he wanted, and so it became harder than what it should have been. I remember boxing a guy, I think his name was Dino Holmesley. I put him down the first shot in the first round. I thought, I'll take this guy in any minute. 8 rounds later, I'm still there trying to get rid of him. And it makes you drop your performance spite because you think I've got it made. I'll turn it on now. So I'm quite sure Yarde was disappointed in his performance. I'm quite sure Joshua Buatsi was looking, thinking, you want to fight that against me? We want that fight. They're both nice guys, Joshua Buatsi and Anthony Yarde. So we wanted to be shouting and screaming at each other. You ain't going to get that. Because these guys, it's a good fight. But these guys aren't going to get pay-per-view money because if you want pay-per-view, the public have got to be excited, intrigued in the story, in the fight. And on that performance on Saturday, it doesn't really merit it. And I'm quite sure Anthony Yarde will tell you that as well.
Quick word on Fran Hennessy coming up against Anna Vazdi Maresh. Very, very spirited fight with Fran. She came through a bit of a test, a big puncher. What would you think of her performance?
Brilliant. She needed to box exactly the way she did. Her opponent was tough, unbeaten. She came there to beat her up. And Fran, she in and out, she did just right. She's improving day after day after day, fight after fight after fight.
Great stuff. So look, let's talk about why we're here. Usyk and Fury reunited. Question I have for you, right? So I've heard a lot of people say that the best version of Fury beats the best version of Usyk, and he should, he should always just box like a big man and all that stuff, lean on him and hold him. I noticed in the first fight he tried to hold him a lot. Usyk didn't allow it. He was able to post up, he was able to frame him and prevent him from being able to do certain things. They said that Joshua just needed to be the bigger man. Dubois needed to be the bigger man, like Chisora. Is it just possible that everyone is saying, oh, well, the best version of this person beats him, but they've just got it wrong? Is Usyk better than what people are giving him credit for?
The problem is this, once Usyk's got the measure of you once, he'll always have the measure of you. And these guys that have boxed Usyk, they're saying he's a little man, he's a cruiserweight. I'll deal with him. I'll actually beat him at his old game. That's ego getting the better of you instead of doing what got you there in the first place. Fury did it, AJ did it, Chisora, they've all done it. So the second time around, Usyk has downloaded that blueprint thing. All right, that's how you do it. I know what you're going to do next time. You're going to try and put it on me. And that works perfect because when a big man's coming to you, you can pick him off. If you're a faster guy, pick him up and move out of the way. So unfortunately, because he's beaten once, he now understands he has the power, the boxing ability and the speed to beat them. So if they try and put it on him, he understands it's going to be like a bull in a matador. Bab, bab, bab. He can box and fight. Tyson Fury can fight and box. Both of them are good at one thing and better at the other. And so it's a case of how they're going to calculate it. So Fury knows he can hurt him. And Usyk knows he can hurt him. I've never seen anybody hurt Usyk like that. And I've never seen anybody hurt Fury like that. So it's about game plan, it's about tactics. And if Fury's going to do what he says he's going to do, which is not change anything, then there's a problem.
So in your opinion, is it repeat or revenge?
Well, before the fight, I thought Usyk could win. I think he's got the beating of him. Now I think, have you still got that Usyk Wilder 1 in you? And I don't think he has. I think he should win, but I just doubt that he has got that Usyk fighter, Fury Wilder 1 fight in him still. Remember, he's made a lot more money. Life's changed a lot more. You know, things are probably a lot. It just changes your appetite. So, well, I'm curious to see.
Before I let you go, quick question on a couple of the undercard fights. Look, Moses Atuma versus Dempsey McKean. Really good test for Moses. Dempsey hasn't been in the ring for about 15 months though. How do you think that one's going to play out?
Chance for Moses to be shown on a big level. It's a great opportunity for him. I think Moses is a really good fighter. People don't realise that, and so that's why that fight on that belt is a perfect platform for him.
Any other fights on there that you're particularly looking forward to?
You know, listen, this is the Fury Usyk fight. That's the one that you're focusing on.
Johnny, thanks for your time. I appreciate it.
Anytime, man. Anytime.